We're meeting now on this YouTube live session. Just waiting for people to come up. Let me just open the link so that I can read your comments in the chat box. Okay, so today's class is dedicated to the speaking section of IELTS, wherein we are going to understand about speaking module. Okay, wherein we are going to understand and okay. Now I'm starting with a 6-hour course on Unacademy. The dates are 27th November to 30th November, and we are going to discuss about part 1, part 3, part 2 of the speaking module. What are the different tips and strategies to crack it? Okay, so you can go use the code Aastha and also get a 10% off over there. Okay, so we're waiting for some more people to join into this live class, and you can drop in your hello and hi and comment your attendance, and let me know whether everyone is comfortable in English. If you want me to be bilingual, so I can speak, I can translate that in Hindi as well so that it's clear to everyone. And today we are going to learn about different aspects of speaking skills. We are going to discuss about different strategies of speaking skills. Now, when we are speaking, it's all about communication, and it is one of the very important skills of English language. So it's not only speaking, it's listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So all these skills are in progression, and speaking falls to be on second number. So today we are going to learn about some speaking frames which we can use to memorize, how we can extend our speaking skills, and tips for each part of the interview process. Now, when we are talking about speaking frames to memorize, what do we understand by those frames? Now, there are set patterns, set frames for us, and we need to understand how an examiner is going to put up questions on us. How will we, sit and interact with the examiner? So that ways, if you are able to understand the set pattern, set criteria, then we will be able to crack the speaking exam. And as we know, the IELTS speaking 11 to 15 minutes. So those 11 to 15 minutes are very crucial for your examination. Okay, so herein we are going to discuss about also how we can extend our speaking. If we get one topic, we have to speak on it. Now, examiner has set questions to answer, to ask from us. So he is going to just put up those questions which are there in his on his sheet of paper. but it is our task how to expand upon the answers. Because he's not going to cross question us, he's just there to sit and listen to what we are saying. But how we build our answers, how we add into more vocabulary, how we extend our answers plays an important integral role. And then we are also going to discuss about the tips for each part of this interview process. So what are the different tips which are required? Okay, yes. So what are the different tips and strategies to keep in mind so as to engage the examiner, so as to impress the examiner with our fluency, with our expression of thought and language, of course. Now, before we move further, let's understand what are the components of speaking test. Now, every component is of equal importance, whether it's fluency and coherence, whether it's vocabulary, whether it's grammar or pronunciation for that matter. Now, each section is of, comprises of equal, it's of equal weightage. So everything is of 25% weightage, we can say for that matter. Now, before we move further, we must understand what do we understand by these terminologies. Now, when people think of vocabulary, for example, what comes to their mind is those heavy, loaded words with some, overloaded meaning so as to impress the other person. Yes, to some extent, that might be true. But vocabulary, appropriate use of vocabulary in true sense means speaking the words which are meaningful, which make complete sense to your context of, speaking. Whatever you're speaking, it should make sense to the other person. So it's not compulsory. I just want to break this myth today. It's not at all compulsory to use heavy loaded vocabulary, to use extra territorial words as if you're borrowing deliberately so as to fit into your thought process. Because the examiner is obviously not a naive person, he is well experienced, he has accepted so many people, he has rejected so many people. So he knows when you are being deliberate, when you are natural, and when you are being very forceful with your thoughts. Okay, so that's why fluency and coherence has to be taken care of simultaneously. Now, what's fluency? Right now, I'm speaking in front of you, I am talking, I am able to communicate my ideas across, and I am being accurate. I am speaking correctly, therefore, we can say that I am speaking fluently. Now, some people confuse fluency with the speed of speaking. Now, it is not necessary that if I'm speaking very quickly and I'm just not mingling with the words and I'm going on and on and on, that means I'm fluent. Yes, I am fluent, but at the same time, speed of speaking does not mention fluent, does not, specifically means it's fluency. So there are two different aspects. Now, what's coherence? Coherence means, as the name suggests, coherent. It has come from the word coherent. Now, coherent means when you're using your ideas, your logics while you're speaking, and moreover, you're fitting them together in one logical frame of mind. You're just not picking up ideas haywire, you're just not picking up it from anywhere and collating them. It's one logical process of thought which flows in and which you make complete sense of those words, those sentences which are spoken. They have one logic, one sequence, they are coherent. Okay, so then we come on towards grammar. Grammar obviously includes, it's actually the base of the language on which we're speaking, whether it's tenses, whether it's pronouns or nouns or articles or prepositions or conjunctions. We'll be dealing with everything in our speaking course, okay? And then it comes to pronunciation. Now, pronunciation is a very tricky concept, I can say. It's a very tricky topic. Why? Because pronunciation is different for different words. American pronunciation is different than British pronunciation. Now, some common examples would be schedule and schedule, data and data, and color and color. Even the spellings are different. And moreover, pronunciation is very subjective. People belonging to different states, different regions, because of the climatic conditions, because of the regional conditions, because of the way they have learned, they have been adept to the surroundings, the way their muscles are shaped, or the way they have learned the pronunciation, the way they have inherited it. It depends on person to person how they are speaking a particular word. So pronunciation is very subjective, but yes, we will try. We will make sure that all the words which you are pronouncing are correct and as per the required standards. Okay, so these are all very important components of speaking test. So, and every aspect has equal importance. Now, it's time to warm up a bit. Now, one thing I would like my learners to understand, or everyone who's preparing for IELTS out there, that before you go, you just plan to prepare yourself for the speaking test, you need to understand yourself. Yes, you need to understand yourself. You need to understand all about you. Where are you from originally? How long have you been living in your country? For example, these are some pointers we can focus on. How long have you been studying English? Why do you think English is important? What do you do, whether you work or study? What are some of your short term goals for school work or personal life? What are some of your hobbies and interests besides school or work? Now, uh, why am I asking you to be thorough with about yourself? Because all the questions in part 1, we are having an overview. So all the questions in part 1 are about yourself, your family, you as a person, your hobbies. It could be based on whether you like to watch any television program, which is your favorite program, what's special about it, a detailed question and answer analysis on that particular aspect. It could be, do you browse internet? Why? How does it help you? Which is your favorite site? What do you look for? One aspect. Okay, what is your hobby? What do you do in your free time? Why do you do it in your free time? So, if you are thorough with yourself, if you know yourself, you will be completely able to answer any kind of question. And right now, we are going to understand, we are going to learn different frames in which we can understand ourselves, we can categorize ourselves, and as a result, we'll be able to reflect what we are as person. Somehow it's more meditative and reflective exercise because it somehow helps us, to introduce ourselves to ourselves. So coming to the questions, now there are different ways of answering the questions. For example, the first one, where are you from originally? Now, one way of speaking could be, well, I am from Delhi. Okay. How long have you been living in your current city? I have been living here for 30 years or 28 years or 45 years, depending on your age. Now, this is one way. The other way could be, well, I am from the capital of India, which is New Delhi. I have been living here since my birth, and I'm blessed to be part of this beautiful city. Which is the better one? Obviously, the second one. Why? Because I just elaborated upon a bit. I did not take an extra time. It was matter of few seconds. The way I wrapped up my answer looked impressive. The way I spoke, it had all the pronunciation, the, expression. I was able to connect. I was looking properly. All these aspects are important while you're speaking because speaking is one form of communication in which you can use your eyes, you can use your face for the gesture, you can use your hands. Right now, I'm speaking, and you also, if you want to focus, if you want to bring someone's attention, if you want to show intensity, you can just look into eyes of the examiner, obviously with humble approach, but at the same time it will reflect your confidence. It will reflect you as a person. So these are some tips and tricks you must keep in mind because if you are a good communicator, if you have good communication skills, half the battle is won. Yes, trust me, half the battle is won. So, and we'll be doing elaborately upon it on my course, which is starting on 27th of November, morning 10 to 11:30 a.m. on Unacademy. and if you use the code Aastha, you get a 10% off. So it's a very lucrative offer for all of you. Okay, now coming on to, okay, this is one interesting exercise. Now we can look at these topics and put them in order from 1 most important to 8 which is least important, and discuss your reasons behind your answer. Now, for example, there are so many topics which are given over here. Okay, hi Pachu, hi Arya Bahut Ghosh, they are online. Great. So we are discussing these topics. Now these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 topics are there, right? Now, what is my priority? I will order them. I will order them in one sequence as per my understanding. Now, it could be family, friends first, it could be religion, it could be hobbies, it could be my school or work, it could be my traveling, it could be my inclination towards money, finances, it could be my motivation towards my personal growth or my health and sports activities. So, why am I asking you to do it? Because these are your priorities. You must know what is important for you in your life, why is it important for you, and how it is important for you. If you're able to answer why, if, and what of these aspects, you will be sorted with your life, you will be sorted with your understanding for that matter. Now, for example, if I say my first priority could be my family, my second priority could be my personal growth, my third priority could be my school, my work, my fourth priority is my money, the finances, the income which I'm earning. My fifth would be traveling, and then my hobbies and my religion. Because I'm a spiritual person, so I put religion at the bottom because I feel that even in my work I see God. In my hobbies I feel presence of spiritual powers, and when I'm doing meditation I'm working upon my personal growth, then also I'm interacting with the powerful forces. So these are the different priority areas. Now I have already worked upon them. Now it's your time to work upon them, to clarify yourself, to make it clear what you want in life and why you want it. Because these aspects, if you have already pondered upon them, if you have already thought about them, if you have made a detailed account of, about them, then you are already aware of yourself. So if anyone asks you about it, you will be sorted. You will be clear in your mind that, okay, this is my hobby. Now, many students come to me, they ask, ma'am, I was thorough with my preparation. I knew, the subject I was applying for. I knew everything about the topic I had prepared for. But the moment a question was asked, tell me about yourself, I was blank. Because we generally don't give importance to ourselves. We don't give importance to what we are, who we are, and why we are that way. So if we understand ourselves, things will become easy for us. Okay, now let's talk about the frames. This is something serious we are going to discuss. This is something which I'm offering you, which is there in the Plus course. So today is a treat for you all. We are discussing a speaking strategy frame, which is completely specific to Plus course, and this is being enjoyed by you all in the free YouTube session. So now, what is frame one? Now we have to understand that we have to pick some strategies so as to practice speaking skills. Now, since everyone is not a pro in speaking, and that's okay, but at the same time, if we need to score good in IELTS, if we need to score well, we need to understand how to speak well. So if it will be helpful to the people who are not very good in speaking, and also to the ones who are already pro in speaking English, because if you understand how to put forward your answers, how to speak, about them in one particular manner, you will be able to, bring out your words and thoughts and opinions in a nice manner. For example, the question is, describe something you own which is very important to you. Now you have to describe something which is very important to you. It could be your phone, It could be your toy, it could be your TV, it could be a favorite book which is important. Anything on earth which you feel is very important to you in your life and you own it. Okay? Now you can write your comments, you can pour in your doubts, and you can pour in your ideas over here, and I'm here to answer them. Okay? And I'm here to answer them all. So we can discuss different aspects about speaking strategies. You can share your fears or your doubts where you feel that you feel stuck up. If you feel that there's some problem area in speaking skills, you can just write it down, and we are on live session so we can discuss about it. Okay, so now coming on to the speaking strategy, we divide our sentence into a three-part structure. Why? So that we are able to deliver a nice answer, so that we are able to express ourselves in better words. Now let's take this example. The most important thing that I own is my iPad because it makes my life more efficient and it is helpful for school. What is the most important thing that I own? It's my iPad. This part, a simple sentence, right? The most important thing that I own is my iPad. The sentence could have ended here. And that is only thing which is required. If you look at the question, it says describe something. So you could write more about it, like my iPad is this in color, it has this brand. You can add those pointers. But if the question is asking which is very important to you, you should yourself tell why is it important to you. So what we have done, we have added because. What is because? It's conjunction. It's a subordinating conjunction. So this part becomes a subordinating clause. We'll obviously discuss about this in detail in our course, wherein we will understand that how conjunctions are used and their why, what importance they have in framing sentences. So the most important thing that I own is my iPad because it makes my life more efficient, and now I'm using coordinating conjunction and, which is joining the two sentences, and I'm explaining more upon my iPad that it's efficient and it is helpful for school. Now I want you to just read the two sentences. Take just 2 minutes and read these two sentences. Yes, I hope you have read these sentences. I'm trying to read down to the messages you people are sending. Okay, so we have Pachu, he's asking, what does color coded words mean? Okay, Pachu, color coded words are, it's actually a strategy to learn different chunk of letters. Like you have phonemes in English, you have vowels in English, you have letters starting with particular sounds. For example, let's take it's a strategy to teach the young ones how to speak probably. And for example, the word cat, telling them all the letters starting with k sound. So it's basically for sounds, aspects which you want me to make clear, any doubts you have, or any fears or phobias you want to share, or any other IELTS. Okay, I think there was some issue in the connection, and I think we are back again. And I think we'll be able to talk again, interact again. And I think we'll be able to, yes, talk again, interact again. Okay, and I think we'll be able to, yes, talk again, interact
So we are
again.
back.
Okay, and I think we'll be able to, yes, talk again, interact
So we are
again.
back.
Okay, and I think we'll be able to,
I just need to
put my volume button low. Yes, talk again, interact
So we are
again.
back.
Okay, and I think we'll be able to,
So we were discussing about the different
my volume
strategies.
button low. Now, we were discussing describe something you own which is very important to you. Now, the most important thing that I own is my iPad because it
Yes,
makes
so
my life more
can
efficient
interact
and it is helpful for school.
Okay,
Now, the other way is also I really value my car as it gets me from place to place. Now, and
makes
we were
it easier
discussing
to carry
describe
groceries.
something you own which is very
That is why I
important to
value
you.
my car.
Now, the most
So I can
important
go
thing
from
that I
place to
own
place.
is
So
my iPad
as it
because it
connects
makes
to
my life more
as we
efficient
were discussing
and
about conjunction.
it is helpful for
So
school.
as in one conjunction, one joining word
I really
which
value
helps
my
two
car
participle
as it
sentences
gets me from
and
place to
again we
place.
have
Now,
roots
and
those
we
makes
were
it easier
discussing
to carry
describe
groceries.
something you own which
And
is
to
very
joining again one
important.
more phrase with
Now, the
those
most
I can
important
go
thing
from
that I
this is
own
one
is my
strategy that we are
iPad because
dividing
it makes
was
my
your
life more
first
efficient
little part
and
structure.
it is
And
helpful for
finally,
school.
I love that selection because of the relaxation and enjoyment in the journey. Now I love my selection because I want to
We
find
were
it
discussing
easier to carry
describe
groceries.
something you own which
And
is
to
very
joining again
important
one
to
more
you.
time with
Now,
those
the most
phrase
important thing that I
of
own
one
is my
strategy that we are
iPad because
dividing
it makes
was
my
your
life more
first little
efficient
part
and
structure.
it is
And
helpful for
finally,
school.
now we have to go from the general to the
Of the
specific.
relaxation
What
and
kind of
enjoyment
food do you like?
now,
Now we can start from general, like I really like all
something you
kinds of
own which is
pasta,
very
but
important.
I'm especially a fan of Italia. Now pastas are so many, there are so many kinds of pasta available. But I'm a fan of lasagna in particular. Now imagine a soft corn in front of you. It broadens at the top and then it goes down and narrows down. So similarly, start from general, come down to specialty. I really like to eat all kinds of pasta, but I am especially a fan of lasagna. In particular, I enjoy the rich and flavorful layers of pasta and sauce. And then again down, even though it's a little heavy, the combination of tomato, cheese, basil and oregano is absolutely delicious. So what we are doing, our very important life, we are trying to give reasons why we like it and we are also focusing on particular aspects, on specific details of liking it and then we are giving a little contrast to our fitness, like even though it is this, giving a negative aspect or something which is a little low or in sad aspect, and then we're talking about what combination we like. Okay? And then let's come on to this is a very practice general what kind of food do you like? So how do you do that? I really like to dash. This is one place you can just, have a look at it. I really like the last part we have discussed was pasta, all kinds of pasta. Now this is a place you can fit in your choice. For example, I really like to eat Indian food or Mughlai food or Italian food or Chinese food, all kinds of Chinese dishes. But especially, I like to eat, say, fried rice and Manchurian. That could be one option. Okay.
Let me see how many of you have written different comments and so that I can answer and listen to them side by side. Okay. So when I say I really like to eat general, but then I'm coming down to specific what I like to eat in specific. In particular, I enjoy. So I am enjoying, which is again a specific thing. So this is a frame which you can use in particular. What do you enjoy? Even though, even though would be what you dislike about that thing, or probably some low effect or something which is not very appealing to you, or something which you want to neglect, which is slow but you want to neglect, even though there is this much, there's this issue in it, but still I just adore that dish, or I adore that place for that matter. So this is how you describe, and you can relate it to anything you like. What do you do in your free time? Well, I really like to do creative activities. That is one general. But specially, I like to doodle. That is specific. In particular, I enjoy doodling cartoons, or I enjoy doodling uh, caricatures, even though it's a bit tiring or it is a bit taxing, but still I enjoy the intricacies which I form in it, which I try to carve in it. Or the other way could be, in particular, I enjoy doodling sketches of politicians, for example, and then you give your example, you support it. So it's not compulsory that you always have even though. That is why, if you can see on the slide, I have given the options even though, for instance, for example. Instance and example are synonymous to each other, right? So for instance, for example, even though, these are options how to carry forward your discussion, how to expand. Because what we did, what was our goal? I'm going on to the initial slide. What was our goal? Speaking frames to memorize. We must know what are the frames we need to keep in mind, we need to memorize, so that we are able to, speak what examiner desires, what he wants from us. We should be able to, deliver that. How to extend your speaking. You should know how you can speak more, how you can speak better, how you can build up upon your vocabulary, how you can use different synonyms and antonyms to describe what you want to praise what you want to. You need to learn adjectives. So you don't need to learn them separately, a list like, okay, I'm learning 10 adjectives today, I'm learning 20 verbs today, and I'm learning 10 pronouns today. No, you just need to learn the language. Everything else falls into place. Because if you learn in context, if you understand what you're speaking, if you understand what you're reading, if you understand what you're writing, and you can make sense of it, then half the battle. In fact, I think 90% of the battle is won. Okay, jumping on to what we were discussing. Okay, so this is one frame which I have provided. I really like to eat a general idea. Nikhil, hi, he's still online, great. I want all of you to just keep in pouring your comments side by side so that we can talk and discuss. Okay, so I'm waiting for more comments going up. Okay, so now interview part one. Now these are the tips and tricks, which we are going to discuss right now. That what is tip number one? Avoid one word answers. That is a big no no. Do not answer in one word. You are not sure of words. And one more thing, the other person, the examiner, is no more interested. He's actually not interested in knowing about you. He's not interested where you live. He's not interested what you like. It's a bitter truth, but he's not interested. He's just interested in how you speak, how well you speak, how well you express, how well you wrap up your words. He's just interested in that. So avoid one word answers, because if you're giving one word answers, it means you're giving factual information. And that's what I'm trying to bring you at. He's not interested. What's your age? Where do you live? Why are you going out to study? He's just interested in how you bring out those beautiful words out of your mouth. You cook up something and you serve him, on the platter to relish. So avoid one word answers, lie if needed. Yes, you can, but expand and say something which is specific. So do not just make, have bundles of lies so that you feel lost. Where did you lie and what was the truth which you spoke? Yes, a bit of lie is fine because you're actually saving yourself, saving the sanity of the situation for that matter. But expand and say something which is very specific. Don't just lie in air. Now, again, coming back to the question, one example. What kind of music do you like? And the answer is, oh well, I like everything really. मुझे सब type का music पसंद है. Now this is not the answer which the examiner is seeking. Again, he's not interested in actually knowing what kind of music you like, but he's interested in knowing how well you answer this question, how well you understand yourself, and how well you're able to verbalize your thoughts and opinions. So he's interested in, okay, well, I like to listen to all kinds of music. In specific, I like to listen to jazz. I like to listen to folk, or I like to listen to high beatbox numbers because in particular I like the beats, the drums, the sound effects, or the percussion sounds which are played, or the flute sounds which are there, in the background. This is what he is seeking for. So again, we are going back to the template. We have just understood that in general you describe something. It could be a music also, but and then you talk about what special you like in it. Then you come on to, in particular, I enjoy the beats of that music or the flute sound. Sorry, the flute sound which is played simultaneously. Even though it's little pepped up, it's highly energetic, and we can't listen to it at every point of time. But still, I love to listen to it while going for my work because it energizes me. It provides me with that positive attitude and zeal. And this is how you're describing what kind of music you like. Okay, Pachu is asking, what are the strategy for speaking questions? Pachu, there are no strategies for speaking questions. Speaking questions are fixed. Okay, there are strategies to answer them. Okay, and we are discussing all these in detail in my live sessions, which are starting from 27 November to 30th. It's just a 4-day course. So nothing better than that. In 4 days, you will be able to crack what is there in speaking skills because each session would be of 1.5 hours. So today I'm just giving you the taste of everything. But yes, obviously, if you want to understand every single thing, you have to be part of the course. And if you use the referral code Aastha, you also get a 10% discount. So it's hardly 24.30 for one good month, and you get the opportunity to listen to all the educators present over there. So, and I want you, Pachu, because I feel you're very active on Unacademy app as well as on YouTube channel to join that course and make the best use of it. Okay, but still I'm explaining a lot of strategies over here. That the second one which we are, yes, Paju, it's 4 days only, so 6 hours you get complete idea of what is there in it. Okay, and then I'll also start with one elaborate course which is later on, a grammar course in December. So all build up on one after the another, right? Now, second tip is focus on using the words you know. Now, many people believe in using high vocabulary just to throw away their style and attitude, but that's not the point. Examiner knows when you are faking, examiner knows when you are being genuine, in front of him. So do not just speak for the sake of speaking. For example, we can see this. I would ensure him that he can solve his problem. That's absolutely wrong sentence grammatically, lexically. Okay? Tip 3. Don't think too much. Follow the structures. Now, right now, I have given you two frames. Frame number one was use three-part structure. Describe something, give reason for it, and join it with one more aspect. Okay? I'll come down to that again. Again, we are using a three-part structure whenever we are describing something. The most important thing that I own is my iPad. Number one, because now I'm giving the reason, because it makes my life more efficient. And then I am joining one more part to it, and it is helpful for school. So I'm giving two reasons why I like my iPod or an iPad. Second thing which I am describing, I really value my car. Why? It gets me from place to place and it makes my life easier. So this is how we are learning. Once we fit this structure into our brain, we will automatically start describing everything as per this frame. This will become natural. Some people who speak very less, because probably it's not that they speak less, they don't want to speak more. Yes, we have some introverts, but some people do not know how to speak, how to elaborate. They will just answer in simple words, repetitively in same letters or same terminologies. Okay, so if you know that, okay, you need to express yourself, you need to give reasons. If you tell someone that you like that person, you need to express why you like. Similarly, when you're doing IELTS, you need to express why you like something about your own self. If you want to watch a particular television every day, one serial, why? What inspires you in it? Why are you fond of it? Okay, Uh, Pachu, is it good idea to answer speaking questions by keeping in mind the speaking band? Absolutely. This is what I'm, trying to bring your attention towards that these are exactly the same parameters which an examiner is looking for. If you just completely answer in one line that this is what I want, he's not interested, Pachu, in listening to what you like. That's a bitter truth, but he's not interested. He's interested how you frame your answers, how you're able to communicate, how you're able to present it with a reason which is not even asked for. But at the same time, you're taking very less time to do that. Okay? Your second question is, how can we improve vocabulary for speaking? Now, for improving vocabulary, again, coming back to this part, you need to write down all these 8 pointers for yourself. This is something which I'm offering you here on this free YouTube live class, but at the same time, it's something which I offer in my special class, in my plus class, sorry, not special. You write all these pointers and describe them, and then you replace them with good synonyms which are there. I will help you out to learn different synonyms which can be there to describe your different priorities in life, and that ways you can pick up the words in context with examples. There is a proper exercise to learn vocabulary. You just don't randomly learn words. Even if you try to learn 500 words, you might not be able to remember which one to pick up and when to pick up. Okay, so again, coming down to this question, okay, Pachu, I would like to ask you, Nikhil, you're live and there are so many people who are live. I just want to understand, I want to know what is your weak area, if you have any, or what do you think is disturbing you or creating a problem or is like a hurdle in your speaking module. Which part do you feel you're scared of? Speaking part 1, part 2, part 3? Yes, I'm waiting for the answers. Okay, Pachu. I speak less and also I forget to band descriptor when speaking. What I have to do? Well, first of all, forget the band descriptor. Yes, because the more you're conscious, the more you're going to forget. One thing is have confidence in yourself. That's most important part of any communication skills, of any speaking skills. Be confident about yourself. Number one. If you are speaking less, okay, that is a strategy we can work upon. You need to be more expressive and for being more expressive. That's what I was addressing. Actually, I think you're the perfect example on which I was giving my examples on. That some people, if you like, what do you like to eat? Some people would answer, for example, say rajma rice. I like to eat fried rice. That's it. That's not the way you answer. You say, well, I like to eat rice. In particularly, I like to eat pulao, or I like to eat rice with cumin. Understand your preference. Understand what specific thing you like in a particular thing. If you like rice, what kind of rice do you like? For example, do you like some onions in it? Do you like some potatoes in it? Do you like the flavor of coriander over it? Do you like cumin seeds in it? So this is how you're elaborating upon. So once you're doing the homework of knowing yourself, knowing about your family in detail, knowing about your hobbies, knowing about your favorite food, and if you're writing that, your notes are ready. So, the speaking skills, start from home. That's the whole idea I'm trying to bring your, attention towards. Now, even though it's a little heavy, the combination of tomato, cheese, basil, oregano, this person speaks as if he or she is a chef. So you have to be perfect in what you're speaking. That's the whole idea, okay? So my suggestion to you is stop being conscious of the band descriptor that I have to score this much or this is the way I have to speak in this particular band. Just understand, try to understand what I'm trying to make you understand, okay? Now, coming on to uh, okay, let's talk about the rubrics, for example. Now imagine you get a, now this is something which I would like to address considering what band descriptor you are scared of. Now imagine you get a score. Okay, fine, I understand mainly part 3, but imagine you get a score out of 9 for each of the criteria, okay? They are added together and then that score is divided by 4. For example, here is someone who has forgotten to think about coherence and he has not fully answered the question. What is coherence? When you are logically connecting your ideas. He has good general English, so does the person has grammar and vocab, but that's not enough. Now look at the score. Grammar, that person got 7, vocab 7, pronunciation 6, but coherence only 4. Now coherence is very important. How do you form coherent ideas? Answers by linking one point to the other, the second point to the third point to the fourth. That is called coherence. Right now, we have just discussed the example of say, what do you like to eat? So how did we start? I like all kinds of pastas. In particular, I like lasagna. I am being logical. I am connecting my first part with my second part. Then I'm talking in depth about it that this particular could be my favorite shape, but in particular, even though it's heavy, I like the, taste of tomato, oregano, cheese and basil in it. So what am I doing? General to specific, one, but at the same time, that is also called coherence. I am linking the first idea with the second with the third, and then I'm bringing it down. I'm not just not speaking anything out of the world. I'm trying to join them. This is called coherence. So people lose marks in coherence. Why? Because they are busy learning the words, they are busy pronouncing the words, so the pronunciation improves, their vocabulary somehow they're able to speak those heavy words, but they fail to make a coherent logical answer. Okay, so even if you see that 7 plus 7 plus 6 plus 4 is equal to 24 divided by 4, because this is the way marks are given, equals to 6. What is your band score? 6, which is not fair enough. So 6 is the band score. Even after scoring pretty well in vocab and grammar, that person lost because of the coherence. So that is why, as I discussed, uh, you know, each part is equal and each part is very important. Okay. Now, okay, this is one example I would like to give before we end up this class. I'll just take little extra time. I'll teach you for more time. Let's talk about your hometown or village. This is one sample question. Okay. Paju, you got 6 in speaking, but you're not so much fluent. It's okay because speaking comes with practice, and that is why I'm telling that I'll be starting this course. And as you can see, I've prepared so many samples. There are so many samples out there in the class, and obviously, my aim is to help my students to improve in speaking, make them fluent. And when will you become fluent? When you have those ideas ready in your mind. Now, for example, if someone asks you, what is your hobby? What do you do in your free time? First thing is, you will think about it. My hobby is. If you're not aware about your hobbies, if you're not aware about that particular question, remember what you did in childhood. When a teacher asked you to write a question in history, science, geography, maths, or English, if you did not know the answer, your time went thinking. You were not fluent. That's called breakage. Those barriers, those walls are there, right? So you have to break those walls, and I will teach you how to go about it. We'll practice different ways, different examples, and different situations. So when you have practiced different situations, and if any one situation is asked by the examiner, then what will stop you from answering it in the IELTS exam? Just tell me that. Nothing can stop you because you've already practiced those samples and templates and frames. You understand what are tenses, you understand how to speak in present, how to speak in past, how to speak in future. You just told that part 3 is little difficult. Why is part 3 difficult? Because it's elaboration of the second part. Now, second part, you have a cue card, okay? This is, look at this slide. These are the types of questions in part 2 and 3, okay? Just have a look at it. So, all these questions are there, and then you are given a cue card. You and different WH questions are put on it. You have to answer them. And whatever you answer, part 3 is based on your own answers. So you are creating part 3 actually in a way. So you can easily predict what part 3 is. These are the tips and strategies we are going to learn in our speaking module, that how we can pick, we can shape our own interview. Interview is always in our hands. Whatever we answer, the examiner will ask a counter question over it. This is the general strategy of interview, so we'll understand every single thing, okay? So I think it's time to wrap up the chat, and I've enjoyed a lot, students, and I'm really happy that so many were there together online. Okay, and we have completed a good amount of time as well. And if you have any doubts, I'm still here. You can ask your doubts. You can leave in your comments. You can pour in your ideas as well, and we can discuss about them. At the same time, I would like to just quickly discuss this hometown and accommodation. This is one sample question. Let's talk about your hometown or village. What kind of place is it? Now, is it a village? Is it a town? Is it a resort? Or, is it a very heavenly place? Are there a lot of trees over there? Or, is it a snow-laden place? Or in that manner, you can describe what kind of place is it. What's the most interesting part of your town or village? Now, whether it is near to a supermarket or it is beside, a cinema, is it across a hospital? What am I saying? Beside, across. What are these? These are prepositions. I am not bifurcating them that, okay, now I'm going to use prepositions to tell you how to speak about places. No, we use them in a flow, but we must know what they are. Okay, we must know, okay, these are prepositions. I can use them when I want, but at the same time, they just flow out of my mouth because, that is called fluency. You don't need to stop and think which word I want. It has to come out of your mouth just as smoothly as air comes out of your nose while you're breathing. So, you should breathe language. That is called fluency in language, okay? And then we talk about different aspects of